there. So, first off, if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, welcome. If you are watching this anywhere else, welcome. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I hope I can help you learn something new today. So, one of the things I tell everyone is there are two programs you should not be printing from: Cricut Design Space and Silhouette. So if I'm going to say that, I should have alternatives prepared for you to learn so that you can get out of those and get into a decent RGB8 printing graphic program. Neither one of them are printing graphic programs. They're both cutting graphic programs because they're set up for machines. They do have colors. Yes, the colors are there, but they're there because of layering. So let's talk about this. Google Drawings. I have loved Google Docs for the longest time, and then I got and then I realized Google Drawings existed, and I absolutely love it. One of the reasons I love it is right here, because when I set this up, I just open up Google Drawings and I can come down here and go to page setup and just choose whatever I want by clicking on custom and then setting up the size that I want right here with no problem. So let's go ahead and do an 11 by 8.5 inch image, 8.5 image, okay? And you can change it from inches to centimeters, points, or pixels. I like to work in inches because most people understand the inches. If you want to work in pixels, just remember whatever your inch size is, multiply by 300, and that'll tell you what the pixels are. All right, so if the image was 10 inches wide by 10 inches tall, it'd be 3,000 by 3,000 pixels. I hope that made sense. All right, on to the next thing. So we're going to do the 11 by 8.5, which means we're in landscape. I'm going to hit apply. We now have a document that is 11 by 8.5. Here's your measurement ruler guide up at the top. You can see it's 11, and there's a ruler guide over here on the side, and it is 8.5. All right, now, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's get an image on here. Let's click on Insert, Image, Upload from Computer. I'm going to pause this while I bring in an image. Okay, I brought in an image, and I'm going to move it around. Something else I like about Google Drawings is you don't have to take care of the lockout of wrap text, but I do want to resize this. So one of the things you need is right here. It's called Replace Image or Format Options. We want to go to Format Options, and then you will get this drop-down list over here. It's called Size and Rotation, Position, Recolor Adjustments, Drop Shadow, Reflection, and Alt Text. There's lots of little things you can play around with over here. For now, we're just going to click on the size and rotation. And right now, this is too small. Now, I'm going to make this 9.3 inches wide. I'm a retired school bus driver, so I'm going to make this 9.3 inches wide, except I actually want a little extra. So I'm going to do 9.5. And then I'm going to make the other side 8.1 or 8.2, sorry. Whoops. Okay, so sorry about the glitch there. So as you can see, it's 9.5 by 8.2. Now my paper is 11 inches long, so it's going to fit with no problem. The 8.2 inches, though, will be a problem if it's not centered. For those of you not in the United States, get some American standard size paper that's 8.5 if you have a regular format printer. Now I'm about to tell you why. All of the regular format printers have a built-in margin. The A4 paper is 8.3, so you're cutting off a 1/4 inch of that. You're not going to be able to get to 8.2. So if you buy American paper, which is 8.5, then you center middle this, you will be able to clear that margin at the top, sides, and bottom, okay? So we're going to do that. Now we want to do the position. So we're going to go to position. Your X and Y are right here, are your position. The X is left to right, so we want to do a 0.2 on that. We could even go we could go even farther than that. We can go a 1/2 inch in, that's fine. And then down from the top, we want to do a 0.13, okay? And the reason is, before I move it, is if you see down at the bottom of the screen, it's off the paper. It's off the design box. The design box where those gray checkered background is, that's the paper that we're printing on. So we got to make sure we're on the paper. And if you do a 0.13, you'll not only be on the paper, but you'll take care of that margin at the top and the bottom, like I was talking about before. There's a very small margin at the top and a very small margin at the bottom. One of the things I'm going to suggest also is make sure you don't have anything right up against the edges of your design, because that's another thing that happens is when we go to trim, if we even had to trim this, maybe you're printing exactly the size. I do recommend, pause for 1 second. Char's helpful hints. If you're doing tumblers, do an extra 0.25. The reason for that is if you tape the backside of the paper that's going to touch the tumbler, and then this side goes over it, the ink's not going to bleed through, but you got extra space for when our paper shrinks a little bit. Okay, and then you'll get rid of that pesky seam. All right, back to this. So we now have it sized out correctly and everything's good. It's in the right position. Okay, right here. So we have a 0.13 and a 0.5. We could go even farther, but we're away from the edge. Now we're going to go print it. So in order to print from Google, whether it's docs or drawings, you go to File, go down to Print. It's going to generate it. Then you're going to get this box. Make sure you're on the right paper, or sorry, right printer. Right now I'm on my ET2800, which is fine. We're going to use that one for this. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on More Settings. Make sure you're on the right size paper. Don't touch scaling and go down to Print Using System Dialog. This box will pop up. Make sure you're on the right printer. So now I have to go find the right printer. Here it is. Then you're going to, excuse me, then you're going to go down here to More Settings. Don't touch anything else. Once you do that, if you're on a Windows computer, you are going to see this, okay? If you're on a Mac, you're obviously going to see your print view, all right? Now you're going to go set up your paper size, your orientation, paper type that must match what's on your printer. So when you put a piece of paper in there to go to print, make sure the size and the type match. Otherwise, you're going to get printer error, paper mismatch. Make sure you're on color, obviously. If you want to do black and whites, just switch it to black grayscale right now. That's it. That's all you got to do. All right? But we want it in color. Come down here, make sure your quiet mode's on. That'll slow that print down a little bit so you don't get pizza wheeling. Print preview has saved me hundreds of dollars from making mistakes. Now click on more options. Come down here, make sure your bidirectional, fast speed, or high speed is off. Okay, fast print, high speed, and bidirectional are all the same thing. That's when your printer is told bidirectional means it prints in both directions. Turning that off means it only prints from right to left, takes a break, goes back to home, and prints again. Excuse me, by doing that, it gives the paper a little bit of time for that ink to dry before it hits those rollers in front. Mirror is always on unless you are printing on to or for a glass see-through, as in you're on the back side of a cutting board, or you're on the back side of a piece of acrylic, or you're on the back side of a piece of glass. Always mirror other than those, okay? Then you would set up your color for whatever color correction you're going to use. I'm going to leave it on automatic for now. We're going to click OK. Then we're going to hit print. Once we hit print, in a minute, we're going to get a print preview. Here it comes. That's exactly what's going to come out of my printer. Notice that it's away from the edges. I didn't cut off any of the words because all my margins were dealt with correctly. Okay, and then I would hit print. That is how you use Google Drawings. Why do I like Google Drawings better? Because in Google Docs, I can't set up a favorite or a custom size without going to something else, extensions. In this one, I can just click on File and the size and put in a custom size that I want. As long as that size is on my printer, we're good to go. I hope this helps. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out and ask me. For those of you that don't know about Rockin Sublimation for beginners and the advanced people that want to learn, come join me. It's a great Facebook group. We're over 13,000 strong and growing daily, and all questions are answered. Everything is safe to ask. I don't care if it's been asked a million times before. It's totally fine. Plus, there is a plethora of information posted in that group that I've personally done. I do videos, I do tutorials, I do one-on-one helps, I do a lot of free help If you got a jammed up printer, or you can't quite figure out how to resize something, or you need a little extra help with something, a lot of times I'll take you into Messenger and help you personally one-on-one. And yes, that's for free. The only thing I charge for is my color correction class. If you're ever interested in that, you can also reach out. I hope this was helpful. And as always, I hope you have a very, very happy sub journey. Have a great day.